Hi, welcome back. If you have been a subscriber and if you are a new viewer, welcome. I hope you like something that happens here. I'm coming to you from Southern Idaho. My name is Shauna. It's actually a pretty nice day today outside, which was kind of frustrating because I keep getting the light and I've closed the blinds, but I'm still getting that light. So I don't know how to make that go away. So I have some knitting for you today, some crocheting, and one of my favorite little gadgets, and a couple of things that I purchase acquisitions. So I think I will start, let's see, I will start with the knitting. So first off, I have something that is just basic and I can do it in my head. And so it's just basically a hat. And I made the ribbing extra long because I wanted to be able to roll up a cuff, because you know it gets cold here and I like it to be warmer. And the yarn I used is Red Heart, and it is called, it's a jumbo super saver, so it's a bigger yarn. And the colorway is Mirage, which contains blues and tans and browns and maybe kind of an off-white, not really dark browns, medium browns. And this yarn is a number 4 weight. And I gotta go get my glasses. There we go. That's better. Now I can read. And I don't put them close to my eyes because that's just too close. So it's a number 4 weight. For crochet, you use an I-9 or a 5-point millimeter hook. For knitting, you use a US 8 or 5-point millimeter needles. It's machine wash and dry, 100% acrylic. And it has this thing on it called Okotex. And it's tested for harmful substances, so it's, I guess, more hyperallergenic. And that's just right there. I don't know if you can see that. And of course there's all the other stuff. 100% acrylic. Although I've noticed with the variegated yarns, with the variegated yarns, I've noticed that the difference, even though they say they're a 4, the variegated yarns, and I don't know if you can tell, so the bottom one is the variegated yarn. It seems to be a little thinner than the other solid color yarns. And I've noticed when I use it, I can use smaller needles or a smaller hook on those yarns. But I do like them. They're still really nice. And like I said, this is a Super Saver Jumbo. And there are 283 grams, 482 yards, 440 millimeters, 10 ounces. So this is a jumbo. There's a lot more in that than there is just the regular Red Heart yarns. I don't know why they're a little thinner. It must have something to do with the dyeing process. But I still like working with them. I like all the colors and I think they're pretty. But I think, you know what? I think I'm going to make a cowl to go with that, because a hat and a cowl, that's just cool. And warm. Gotta have warm. It's already 2:26 in the afternoon here, and it's only 57 degrees outside, so it's getting chillier. The days are getting chillier. Okay, the next thing I have for you is this, and it is a Santa hat for a baby, maybe a 3 to 6 month old baby. I don't know. I don't have any babies around, so I don't know about that. And I can't find my pattern, and I looked online, I looked in my files, and I can't find this pattern. I know I had one because I remember marking it off, so it'll turn up. But this hat was done top down, and if you notice, I've got some holes here because the pattern had you start up here with like casting on 6 stitches on double pointed needles, and I used a size 7 double pointed needle. And in order to do the increases, you picked up a stitch between the stitches, and I didn't realize when I was doing that it was making holes. And later on down here I realized that if I knit through the back loop, it didn't make holes, and I still was able to pick up my stitch. And then I just did a 2x2 ribbing on the bottom. So I increased until it was approximately, I don't know, 13 to 14 inches around at the bottom for the baby's head. I think it's still a cute hat. I used Red Heart. The colorway is hot red and then just white. And the yarn I used up here is this Red Heart Baby Clouds that I have, which is a super bulky number 6. And you can't get this anymore, but there are some equivalents to it out there, because I've had that for a really long time. And if you notice, if you just have like, if you can see that, it's just a little bit of a bumpy yarn. You can see the little bumps around there. So kind of a fluffy, bumpy yarn. But it's really, really, really super soft. And I don't know where the pattern is. If I find it, I'll put a link to it, but it was really fiddly to do the top because you were only working with 6 stitches on double pointed needles to start with. Maybe if I would have used wooden needles, it would have been easier, but it was really fiddly. So the next thing I have to show you is a little knitted baby hat. And the pattern for this one is so the pattern is called the Basic Baby Hat, and it's by Mama's Stitchery Project. So that is the Red Heart Super Saver in the soft navy, and this yarn down here is actually a Hobby Lobby yarn called I Love This Yarn, and it's a denim ombre. It's a medium weight for 100% acrylic, and it's size 8 needles, UK size 6, or crochet hooks, US size 9, UK size 5, 5 ounces, 252 yards, machine wash, normal, tumble dry, and it's in the color Denim's Ombre. So, and this is just a basic crochet hat. The pattern I used actually only comes to here. So when I got this, the length of this about 4.5, I think it was 5 inches long, then I did an 1.5 inches. I did this is half double crochet, and I did one row of double crochet in this color all the way around, and then the rest of the rows I did front post 1 stitch and back post, double crochet back post, double crochet front post, and I alternated them all around to give it more of a ribbing effect. I think you can see that, and it turns out the same on the other side. It's kind of hard to see unless I pull it. It gives it sort of a stretchy ribbing effect. So the rest of the hat is half double crochet, and the ribbing is double crochet, and then I did one more like this, and the pattern for this is from, just a minute, the pattern for this is Ombaka Design Crochet. It's OOMBAWKA, and there will be a link on my show notes. Sorry, I need to take a drink, and yeah, it's just water. And I made another one out of the same pattern, and this is the teen size, and this is just red heart bright yellow. And this down here is the Caron Simply Soft Party, and you notice there's a little bit of sparkle in there. And this is 85 grams, 99% acrylic, 1% metallic. It is a number 4 weight. Uses a US 8 or 5 millimeter needles, US H hook or size 8, 5 millimeter, and it's machine wash and dry. And it's really kind of soft. It's 85 grams, 3 ounces. And of course they always come with a free pattern, but I don't think you can see that pattern very well because it's so dark. And I used that around here, and I did the same thing with the ribbing. You can kind of see it just a little better here, especially if I take and stretch it. And this is all half double crochet, and around here and here I wanted to add just a little texture, so I did a half double crochet front post every other stitch to make it like that. And I've showed you the 2 little hats that I made and the 2 big hats that I made and the 4 squares, and these are all going to that lady in Florida called Crafty Floridian. She does something with donating hats for something. I've only seen her for about a month. I found her, but all I've ever seen on her site are crocheted hats, and so I don't know if she likes knitted hats or not, so I thought I would send 2 little ones. I hope she likes the knitted hats. We'll see. I'll get them sent off today if I can, and I'll let you know what she says about them. And there will be a link to her YouTube channel in my show notes or below. I'm not sure how to do some of that yet. The next thing I have for you in crochet are these, diaper covers. And if you notice, I did one a little smaller than the other, and I don't know if you can even tell. This one is the larger one, and this is the smaller one. And I just used the red hot color way, and I used the what is that? The yarn I have, that's the the Baby Clouds yarn, which, like I said, you can't get anymore. So I'm just trying to use it up. But there are a lot of yarns out there that are similar to it, that are just kind of, I guess it's more like a fluffy homespun type yarn. And so the pattern for these is by, let me grab it over here in my pile of patterns. It's the adjustable diaper cover pattern by Amber of Flowers Creations. And it calls for, I used a G hook. She calls for an H, so I did one with an H hook and one with a G hook, and that made a different size just using the same yarn. It's a very subtle difference on the size. And so how you do this is the button comes undone here, and then it comes undone here, and it actually attaches there. And I crocheted the fluffy yarn all the way around so that it would just be fun and Christmassy to go with the hats that I made. There are some knitting patterns like this, but I like the crochet one better, so that's what I did. And then the next thing that I have is some little booties I did to go along with that, because yeah, if you figured it out now, it's a little Christmas photo outfit. So I did these booties, and I don't know if I can let you see the front very good. They're just a really simple booty. They're called the 10-minute crochet booties. She calls for a DK weight yarn. I wanted them just a touch bigger, so I used a regular, just black worsted weight 100% acrylic Red Heart yarn, because if you've watched before, you know I have a lot of Red Heart yarn that I'm trying to use. The stitches you need to know for this are the same with the hats that I did, the front post and the back post, because I don't know if you can tell, it's a little hard because of the black. You can kind of see the little bumps there on this side, kind of there, where you do a front post and a back post to make them just a little bit stretchy. And then I crocheted around the top with the fluffy yarn so that everything all kind of matches, you know, matchy and fun. I tried a crocheted hat because I wanted to try a knitted and a crocheted hat. And so I did. And let me get this stuff out of the way. This one turned out a little bigger around here. I'm going to look for a different pattern. I used the fluffy yarn here, and it's crocheted from the top down, and I just made the little fluffy ball with the same fluffy yarn. And of course it's red and white, the Red Hot yarn. And this pattern, when you go to the site for this pattern, you can also make, she has a pattern for a beard that goes with the Santa hat, and she has a bunch of different sizes of the Santa hats there, and I will just put a link in the description box for you. I was wrong about that. It's not the baby Santa hat with the beard. It's actually the baby crocheted Santa hat, and it is on the by Dorothy Buick on the yarnspirations.com site. So yeah. And the last thing I have is one more baby booty, and this one comes around like that. I did this out of an old sparkly yarn I have, which I don't have a tag for anymore, and I've looked it up and you really can't get it anymore. But this pattern is, it's a really cute pattern. It is by, oh gosh, I can't, it's called the Green Zebra Crochet Baby Booties, and I really can't say her name. So there's the pattern, and that's her name right there that I put. That's her name, Dorothea, I guess. The Green Zebra Baby Booties. And the yarn I used was probably a lightweight 3, or maybe even smaller. It could be closer to a baby yarn. But it's hard to see, but there's a little bit of sparkle in it. And I don't have the tag for it. I used a size F hook, except around the top I used a G hook to do the bigger, fluffier yarn. And just the afghan behind me is the double crochet ripple afghan, and there will be a link to it in my site. The mitts I'm wearing are the Calypso fingerless mitts, and there will be a link to it in my show notes along with the afghan too. And oh, and I purchased these buttons, and these are wooden buttons. Got these at Hobby Lobby. Plus I also got, I love this yarn, Chunky, and it is a number 5, I believe. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. It's a number 5. It's really tiny down there. Number 5 bulky. And that's my acquisitions. I'm going to use the number 5 yarn for my monster pants so I can get them finished. Hi, I just thought I'd tell you that these are up on my Etsy store. They are scrunchies, and there's 2 in a pack, and they have the black elastic inside of them. I don't have a pattern for these. I need to write one down. They're made out of knit crocheting cotton thread, size 10. You can't get it anymore. So yeah, but there are comparables out there to it. Just any crochet thread that's size 10 will work for those. And they are for sale in my shop. So this is the one little gadget I was talking about that I use all the time. It is a Susan Bates, you know, needle gauge, and it has the little hole here where you can measure your stitches. I don't know if you can see that clearer. It has the different needle sizes, and this is a, yep, this is a size 7, I think. Maybe not. Yeah, it's a size 7 needle. And that is my little gadget for today. And if you can tell, it's made of metal. I like it. I have 2 or 3 of these. I keep in different places. I knit a lot at night by my bed, and I keep this by my bed. I don't know where I got them. I don't know if you can get them anymore. If you can, I will put a link to them in my show notes. And now on for more other stuff. So you can find me on Instagram and Etsy as Sewwebbofyarn, Sewwebbofyarn. And I'm on Instagram. Oh, I think I said Instagram, Sewwebbofyarn. and Ravelry as Shauna Ethel. And let's see, my email is sewwebbofyarn@gmail.com. I think that's about it. So I will talk to you again, hopefully sooner, and maybe I should start showing a few lesser projects so I can come on here more. Please like and subscribe and share, and I will see you next time. Bye.